Just keeping my phone down there. Hey, everyone. Can everyone hear me in the back? Yes? Amazing? Okay. I hope I can drive the same level of engagement as the Canadian national anthem, but I'll try my best. Okay. So I want to speak about a topic that means a lot to me. So when I was deciding what I want to speak about today, the only thing I learned, I think, through starting like different projects and different companies was this cycle of iteration. And like, now that I'm allowed to swear, it's actually why iterating is so fucking hard. And I want to start off with a question, right? What does iteration mean to you? So shout it out, I don't care, you want to say it out loud. What does iteration mean to you? This applies not only if you're in software, if you're building on like your art projects, if you're building like the way you're getting better at Excel, anything, just shout it out. Speed, okay. Okay. Hitting your head against the wall, okay. Growing up, okay. Okay, mixed responses, all right. Well, truth is, I was in a really tough spot before. Like Alex mentioned, some of you are thinking, what am I going to learn from this 23-year-old guy that just walked on the stage? I graduated from UFT in 2024, and genuinely speaking, I thought my first startup that I was working on was the one that was going to make it. And I did everything in my power to kind of save it. This is like a picture of kids using like my edtech product. Obviously, I was in edtech, right? Every student just moves into edtech thinking they can crack the code to the perfect education platform. Truth is, it's like the hardest market to sell into. But yeah, I mean, this was like a highlight for me, seeing people use a product that I made for the first time. It was so important. It felt so good, right? But I was so scared. That's the truth. Because iteration means building your ideas over a period of time. My philosophy for iteration was, okay, I'm building a product today, it's gonna go to a user tomorrow, I'm gonna become a billionaire the next day. It doesn't work like that. Putting a product in front of people to use for the first time is a very painful thing. Because the first time you say, I don't really like it. It doesn't really look that well. It doesn't really work that well. There's a lot of mixed opinions, which kind of brings down your overall confidence in how a product is pushed to a group of people. So that's why it's a very painful experience. But the thing is, are you actually seen? This slide is like when I started posting on Twitter for the first time, right? Like 125 views, 225 views, and no one was seeing what I was pushing out. So in my mind, I was like, what is the point of iterating if no one's actually seeing the product I'm trying to push out to the demographic that I want to hit? But in reality, I never really iterated. And what do I mean by this is that I never sat down, took the time to actually understand the feedback that I was getting, and then actually iterated on the product that I was building. So the only way I actually iterated was until I failed. And for some of you, this is an experience you haven't gone through before. Failing for the first time is probably the biggest jump into how your perspective changes, into how you think, and into how you become a better builder over time, no matter the industry. I'm talking in terms of software, but genuinely it doesn't make a difference. Or until I met my co-founder. That's Anthony. So Anthony's in SF right now. Boo. Yeah. But Anthony taught me a lot about obsessing over a product and building something great. And that's what I learned from Anthony. But I was in the typical immigrant parent scenario, where it was like, my parents were like, you just failed your startup. Are you seriously gonna not accept a corporate job offer and go the other direction? I got into Next 36. They thought Next 36 was gonna get me a better job. Like the typical Desi scenario was like, beta, you need more stability in your life. Why are you trying to start this company and become a billionaire? And then it's like, you have to take that corporate job offer. I had an offer from this Big Four company, and they were like, no way in hell are you pushing that offer aside. You have to take it. Obviously, I said no. And then I moved on. But something I learned was that it's very tempting to think that your startup idea is actually unique. What you're building is this unique thing that when you push into someone's hands, it's going to be the one idea that hits, or the one idea that that team in SF is not working on. But in reality, I started to think about iterating as a schedule. So after I failed my first company, that was the edtech company, I started to think about how I can make iteration a part of the daily things that I do every day. Same way that I brush my teeth every morning, the same way I should be iterating every single day. That's what I learned. This led us to build a lot. So over 1,000 commits in the past 2 months, 20 different types of product that were pushed into the hands of my users, and then shipping new tweaks every day for feedback. That's the cycle that I put myself in. This whole mentality switch of, okay, I have to build and get feedback. And why iteration is so important is that it's going to get me to the main goal. Iterating isn't just about the product. Everyone thinks iteration is just about your software product, how it looks, how it feels, how it reacts to a bunch of users. But it's actually every single aspect of your company, your brand, or your project. That's what you should think about iteration. The more you iterate, the more chance of people actually seeing what you're building. So that time where I said that, oh, I posted on Twitter for like 2 to 3 times and no one saw my product, well, that changed the minute I started posting more. Your impressions go up. People see what you're building, they connect with your story, and that's what I want to push out today. The importance of that, okay, someone in this crowd has built a project that no one's seen before, probably next year you'd be pitching to an audience 10 times the size of this. So that's all about iteration, actually building on your ideas. But iterating became a company value, right? My head of engineering is sitting over there, and that's his iPhone. That's his GitHub dashboard. Every day he sees how much he's actually putting out, how much he's committing. He's keeping himself accountable. Raj, shout out to you. But yeah, I think the same way we surround ourselves with people who have the same iteration mindset is how you build and grow as a company. You try to find those people, right? Iterating becomes a community value. We hosted a hackathon with Cohere like a month ago. We started off as the first company to start a Next event. So as you go on, people start to actually see what you're building, and that changes the entire perspective of how you want to be seen to the world. I would say treat iteration as this one pill of medicine you take per day, and over time, you're going to get much better at it. But one thing I want to leave off with is this study from the University of Florida. So there was a group of students, quality and control. So they had one group of students only take one photo and get graded on that, and then the other group of students had to take 100 pictures and get graded on that. Which one do you think did better? Correct. So the 100 photos actually had a higher average grade because they learned how to take better pictures over each picture they took. So it makes a massive difference. I just want to speak a little bit about what we're building at OpenSesame right now, because I think it's super interesting and we've iterated a lot. So in reality, we think these AI agent networks are going to start this SaaS renaissance. AI agents are going to change the way we communicate. There's communication between apps, and there's communication between how people are using product over time. But building this agent network is super hard. There's a lot of complex API integrations, limited workflow tools, and maintenance costs for these APIs are super expensive. So we said, okay, how do we build this successful agent network that anyone can use? Is there an easy way to interact with agents, easy way to interface them, or an easy way for agents to authenticate and grow? Well, we're building a new interface for any user to actually interact with the agent network. We built this product called Cell. Cell is the easiest way to actually interface with an agent network. So if any of you use Cursor, think of it as Cursor for any product. So it comes in 2 form factors, a headless version and a Cell component that actually sits on top of a product. We interact with the APIs of your product and enable the end user to interact with the product through natural language. So we've been using by a lot of e-commerce providers, big data, and business intelligence. And the truth is, any product can be powered by Cell. It helps users search through information, retrieve data, and actually interact with apps all in one place. So it's a deeper connection into this broad agent network of a lot of things. And as you add your app, it becomes part of a larger network of other apps. So the network effects actually multiply over time as you use it on your product. Are you in Toronto on Feb 13th? We're hosting an event with Google about e-commerce and SaaS. If you want to attend, the waitlist is almost over. So we're at around 180 people. We want to be around 250. So join in, try to attend. It's going to be a good event. But yeah, happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
This might sound like a stupid question. What's an agent network?
I was just thinking, like, all the non-technical people are like, what the hell is this guy
I'm actually quite technical.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. My bad. Yeah. So basically what we think an agent network is going to look like is this incoming network of multiple agents that have control of other multiple products in one vertical. Let's say you have an agent that interacts with Shopify, an agent that interacts with QuickBooks. All of them are a part of the same network and can be interfaced from one part on any UI. So that's what we think an agent network is. Does that answer your question? Not quite. Not quite?
What's a practical example?
Okay, For example, let's say we built a QuickBooks agent for a customer that we have, right? They fetch financial information from a QuickBooks, like the app itself, and interfaces with your bank statement, right? Let's say you want to send that specific report that you generated with the agent to another tool using Gmail. It would be able to access another agent that has a connection to Gmail, send the email. Sorry? I wouldn't say it's Zapier. Because Zapier is more like you're building workflows for specific integrations. This is just one network of pre-connected agents that are in the same interface of a growing network as you add more apps onto it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. My question was about automated infrastructure. So you said that your product is around building automated infrastructure. What do you mean by that?
So in perspective, what I mean by that is, for example, you want to automate specific parts, right? So let's say you want to automate the way you're sending emails, the way you're like getting leads, etc. But what I meant by that was that you're automating it at a prompt to agent kind of interface. So for example, I'm on a product for the first time, and I send an email saying, hey, I just saw this report from my Shopify store. Can you send it as an email? So we'd build the agent connection to send that email directly, and then it would send. So it automates the part of you making the kind of automation in the first place.
But the automated infrastructure, you mean like the customer portion of the infrastructure, or do you
Correct.
mean like the backend portion?
Correct. So it can be both ways. It can be the headless version is more the backend infrastructure. The front end interfacing is a set.
Can,
Yeah.
I think that's enough questions for this one. Can we get a round of applause?
Thank you.
Thanks.